So this is a video that I've been wanting to work on for a little long while now. It's taken me so long to get my set properly set up. I've done a lot of work on it today. So I wanted to talk about something more focused, and that being a board game, because I like board games. So a little while ago, about 2 months ago now, when I first started wanting to record this video, I was taking a walk and I found myself at a garage sale. I didn't really see anything that I was too particularly interested in, but at the back of the garage, I saw a little stack of board games. Nothing too interesting, but at the very bottom, I see something. STOPTHIEF. Electronic Cops and Robbers. And I was just blown away by it. Just, like, look at the box. I mean, it just looks fantastic. With all these cops and robbers chasing each other around the letters, even in French. I looked at the guy and I said, I'm buying it. And I took off with it. Didn't really check if it was all there or anything. I just was so impressed by it. I mean, just look at the dang thing. Not as impressive as the American version of the box art, because of course I have the Canadian one, because the American one is just so much more aesthetic. It looks kind of more like an 80s movie box instead of a board game. Mine looks a little bit more 70s, but that kind of makes sense. Came out in 1979, but also it would make sense for it to maybe take that shift more towards the more synthetic vibe that the other one's going for. Now, there's something that you probably might have noticed about these box arts, and that's that the electronic crime scanner that's right in the center of all of them, except for the more modern Restoration Games version, because that one uses an app on the phone, which is much more practical for modern use, but it's also much less cool. So what does the electronic crime scanner even do? Well, it uses the cutting edge of crime-stopping technology and the power of a 9-volt battery to give you the location of a crime, what the criminal is doing, and also it gives you a sound cue as to what is actually going on in there. It sounds a lot more impressive than it actually is, because in practice it's actually more of a series of beeps and boops. Regardless, though, I think that this is just one of the coolest gimmicks for a board game ever. I love electronic board games in general, and this just, it's so radical, I guess. The crime scanner itself is just this lovely little piece of something. I don't know. It looks like it's just like straight out of like a comic book ad, you know? That's the vibe that I get from it, at least. Even though the beeps and boops are a little bit not the nicest. not always the easiest to work with, I suppose. So what do you do in Stop Thief, Electronic Cops and Robbers? Well, you and up to 3 of your friends are detectives, and you are trying to track a criminal. And there are several different criminals, and there are several detectives that you can, roleplay as, I suppose, because the detective cards don't really matter. On your turn, you take turns pressing the clue button on the electronic crime scanner, and it'll give you a notification as to what the criminal is doing. He will always move to a different numbered tile, and it'll give you a corresponding sound and visual on the display. The display is a little bit limited. You can't really see it too well, and I have a friend who's colorblind, and she couldn't see it at all. It's a little bit frustrating, I suppose. So anyways, using that information, you have to sort of pinpoint at where the thief is, where they might be going, get your detective to that space, and make the arrest. When you make the arrest, there is a chance that you can either successfully make the arrest, or a smaller chance that you don't actually make the arrest.
In Stop Thief, when you think you know where the thief is, make the arrest.
Here come the cops.
I think he got him.
9-volt battery not included.
because that's how it works. You just blast them, you know? But sometimes the thief will laugh at you and boogie away for about 9 steps, I guess. And then you have to figure out where he is again, and it's another big problem. Or if you screw it up, the thief will raspberry you, which is what it says in the manual. But it sounds more like this, I guess. You're gonna have to get used to that sound though, because you're gonna screw up a lot. Anyways, if you hear that noise, you end up getting sent back to the detective agency. You have to turn in your badge, pay $100 fine, and miss a turn. If you don't have the $100 to pay for the fine, they just give you back your badge anyways after the next turn. Because, I don't know, I guess that's how it works. I mean, I wish it worked like that in real life. Think about how many crazy detectives we could have out there. Like, come on, Chief, I'm on my last $50. I just need to get that dangerous criminal. I know that I opened fire, but I need this job. And then they're like, yeah, sure thing, Hoss, get in there. Also, a big thing in the game that will really help you out is the sleuth cards. At the beginning of the game, you're given 3 of them, and you can use one at any point during your turn, like any point. There's no rule on it. And then as soon as you use one, you get another one back. These are your biggest friend, and I thought they were pretty cool looking. I really like the look of the cards. I don't know. I'll show them somehow. But moving on from that, let's talk about the artwork. I really like the look of the board. I think it's a really good visualization of the block where the crimes could be happening. And it's right moving around on it, I feel. I don't know. Let's look at the character cards real quick. We have 8 detective cards and we have 10 criminal cards. Or double that if you're feeling bilingual enough. Let's look through the detective cards first. We have Rosa Soprosa, Kent Ketchum, Sherlock Holmes, Mavis Marvel, Nanny Harrow, Carrie Badger, Lester Lusso, and of course the best one, Harvey Hand. This guy is by far my favorite. Just look at him. With a chin like that, I mean, you know what they say about guys with big chins, right? Big hands to solve crimes with. He's a winner. From the criminal side, we have John Doe, Armand Slinger, Emil the Cat Donovan, Felicia Field, Hands Off, Bunny and Claude, Ruby Diamond, The Brain, Saul Teen, Luke Warm, and that's it. If you hadn't noticed looking at these cards, a lot of them are parodies of a lot of different real life criminals or just pop culture criminals from books or whatever. And I really, really appreciate that. A lot of them go over my head, but the ones that I get, I think are kind of clever. So what does it take to win Stop Thief? Well, it's quite simple. $2,500. Once you have acquired that much money, crime's done. That's it. No more crime. Nobody wants to get caught by a detective with that much money, so they just stop. They quit. They stop crime. They clearly aren't gonna beat you because you have so much freaking change. That being said, the game can be over pretty fast if you're good at it. That being said, what is it like to play Stop Thief, Electronic Cops and Robbers? It's kind of bullshit, if I'm going to be honest. It's so... The map is so well designed to just make it really, really tricky to actually figure out where the criminal is. You'll see, okay, they're here, and sometimes they'll go in a big circle. So it'll just throw you off, like, no, but they can't be here, they can't be here, they can't be here. And there are so many times that you will think that you figured it out, you'll go to that spot, you'll call it in, just to get raspberried on. And that's really, really, really frustrating, man. The only way that you can for sure make sure that you get the criminal, the only way that in practice from playing the game that I was able to find the criminal was by using one of the sleuth cards, which only some of them will actually help you in this way. Anyways, yeah, to use a sleuth card that says to use the tip, and when you hold down the tip button, it tells you exactly where the criminal is, but you don't always have access to it, so you kind of have to guess and then get sent back to the stupid dumbfuck zone. And that's it. It sucks. It's harsh. It's kind of frustrating. But it's fun. It's cool though. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a electronic board game virgin, so I don't really have the authority to tell you what I really think about it. Like, I can't really put it on a scale for you, but I really enjoy it, even though it can kind of be a pain in the ass. I would recommend picking it up for anybody who interested in it, and because I thought it's entertaining, the whole concept of it. Maybe even get the Restoration Games one. Maybe that one is a little bit better balanced, so it's not as frustrating to play. That being said, if you liked hearing me ramble on about this board game, or maybe you have any pointers for me, maybe consider subscribing. And if you have any pointers, yeah, leave them in the comments. It's November now. I've been trying to work on this board game video since September, I think. Mostly having trouble because I bought all this stuff for my green screen set, and I got all these lights and things, and I was having a really hard time with the space that I have. But today I realized that I can do some stuff to make it a whole lot more comfortable, and I did that, and well, I think it worked pretty good. I think it's a lot more comfortable this way. It's definitely going to be a lot easier to set it up given this setting. So hopefully I'll be able to make more stuff. And well, yeah, if you made it this far, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And please tune into the next one. Have a great one.